Hello Transformers fans, this is Dylan and Aaron with Articulated Reviews. Today we're taking a look at Bumblebee from the Constructabots.
The Constructabots are a brand new line that just came out this year. They're just hitting store shelves, and as you can tell, these things really got kind of a Bionicle-esque look to them. And it's like, when I first heard about these things, I was actually kind of pumped, but a lot of the fan base just went ballistic when they heard about these.
Yeah, a lot of people were kind of freaking out that they might be, a replacement to the normal line or something like that. But they really are. They're a standalone product. You don't have to be afraid, oh my gosh, we're not going to get our normal deluxe Voyagers anymore. This is a complete standalone product. And when I first saw them, I freaked out. I was like, I didn't like how they looked. I was not excited at all. But once I opened it up, got my hands on it, I have to say it's pretty sweet, and we're going to take a look at it.
It's kind of funny, too. This is the first Bumblebee I can think of that's a triple changer. And if, Aaron, if you can grab the box, it actually says on there that it is a triple changer.
Yeah, right here on the side of the box, you can see it says triple changers, and then E1 and then O1. So I'm guessing like Wave 1, Figure 1?
Yeah, possibly. This Bumblebee has a very drift-like quality to him. He can pull off all these crazy, like, samurai ninja stances, especially with these dual blades that he comes with.
Yeah, it's way more badass than Bumblebee should be. I mean, he's bringing the hurt with those things.
Yeah, and then to top it all off, too, he's got these cannons in the back to shoot these missiles.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't seem like they flip forward in robot modes. They just kind of hang there. I don't know if they're supposed to look like jetpacks, but they don't. Yeah, you can't really flip them forward.
Maybe if you go like this, kinda.
I suppose, but then it's like it's upside down.
Yeah.
Like it looks different in the vehicle modes. It looks more like it belongs, but it doesn't really seem like they serve much of a purpose. They're kind of kibble unless they're supposed to be rockets. I don't know.
This is actually Bumblebee's like vanilla mode, I suppose. It's his mode that doesn't have any alternate mode qualities on it, really.
Yeah, there's these Constructabots, they do transform without doing any parts forming. It is like a normal transformer. However, at least for this Bumblebee here, since he is a triple changer, you have this vanilla mode like you see, but then if you want, let's say, to turn him into vehicle mode, he has to have the car kibble attached to him. So he therefore has, just this blank Bumblebee mode, but then he's got a Bumblebee that turns into a car, and a Bumblebee that turns into a jet, and we'll show those off as well.
So technically he's got 5 modes.
Yeah, if you think about it, he really does have 5. And as far as the robot modes go, I like this one the best. I'm not a big fan of the kibble that you have to attach on the other ones.
I suppose I really prefer it with the kibble, though, just because it kind of completes the look. It looks more like a transformer and not just a robot. But I really like the articulation on this guy, too. These Constructabots are actually pretty decked out for the most part. He's got bends at the knees, he's got movement in his foot, up and down, bends at the elbow, the shoulder, he's got full rotation on his head. It's really surprising how much articulation they were able to stuff into these things.
Yeah, it's got full articulation, and the ball joints on there are actually, they're kind of got like a rubber coating on them. You can see down on the foot there that black sticking out on the ball joint. Yep, there you go. It's kind of rubber coated, so you get kind of a stiffer feel. It feels a little weird though to me, like I'm afraid it might wear out, or I don't know. It's stiff, which is nice for the posability, but I'm afraid that rubber coating might wear off over time.
It's kind of nice how these figures are put together, too. You figure they would be really floppy and loose, but they're actually they're very stiff. They don't feel floppy at all.
Yeah, I was really shocked, actually, when we were putting him together, how so many of the parts fit together nicely. He's a very tight figure. I figured it'd just be like, well, we'll just kind of flop this over here, flop this over there, and it's a robot. But no, everything accordions together nicely, and we'll show that off, too. Getting back to the joints too, alongside those rubber ball joints, he also has kind of some pseudo ratchet joints. If you look for instance, the shoulder-mounted rocket launcher things, the joints on those, actually, they don't really make any noise like a normal ratchet, but you can kind of see when Dylan moves them there, they kind of have a little bit of a pop to them, and that's because they clip on to a cylinder, but the cylinder is cut like hexagonal, so they've actually got a little bit of a ratchet to them, and they feel great.
This feels more like a transformer than you would think it would, I think is the best way to describe these Constructibots. You wouldn't think just by looking at it that it would have such a transformer-like quality to it, but it really just, it feels like a transformer, which is good. They accomplished what they were trying to do.
Yeah, and I do agree that it feels a lot more like a transformer to me than I thought it was. Dylan picked this guy up. This is his, and when we opened the box, my first reaction was, ew, but I started putting them together, and it was like, wow, this is not what I expected. I was expecting more of like a Lego Bionicle type feel or something. And
no, and it doesn't feel anything like a Bionicle. Nothing. And all like a Bionicle.
No, it's a lot different.
Before we hop back into the figure, guys, we want to take a look at the actual packaging that came with the figure.
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. It comes in that little cardboard box, and then within the cardboard box, you've got this little plastic Tupperware. It's got a window on the top here that you can see in the store, and it'll have the figure's head, the Autobot symbol, and some other odds and ends just kind of displaying it.
Really nice Autobot symbol up here, by the way.
Yeah, if you can see it, kind of get the reflection going there. This opens up. It's just a lid in a container. Kind of nice. Everything fits in there, and this is sturdy enough that you could reuse it, and I think Dylan plans on that.
I really hope this didn't jack up the price, so...
Yeah, there's, $5 right there. On top of that, of course, you also get your directions. They're pretty thick. They're basically a combination of your basic, your Lego directions up front, how to put the figure together. And then on top of that, you've got your directions on how to transform the figure. So this thing's like 1/8 of an inch thick. There's a lot there. But it's not one of those like folding ones. It's like an actual booklet, which is kind of nice. Here's Bumblebee in his car robot mode. One thing I want to talk about real quick, my bad. These little pieces up here are actually not on the vanilla mode. I left them there. So they're not supposed to be on the vanilla mode, but that's up to you, really. Otherwise, major changes would be the wheels. You've got these ones down here, which I really like, and then you've got these kibble hunks of plastic up here, which I'm not quite sure how they're supposed to go in the directions. They just kind of hang off. So I suppose it's kind of your own prerogative how you want to pose those.
It's kind of your own discretion. We might have mistransformed it, but if we did, I think it looks better this way.
Yeah, I think in the directions they kind of have them stick out more. There's not much you can do with them though. They're just there for the sake of transforming him into the car.
And as I said before, I prefer it with the wheels on. I think it completes the robot mode. Yeah, this kibble's kind of annoying, but it doesn't, for the most part, it doesn't really get in the way of anything though. It just kind of, it's ugly. Yeah, it's ugly, but I think it completes the figure.
Yeah, it just gets in the way of making him look awesome. That's all.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, yeah, I really like him. One thing we didn't talk about, too, is the Autobot symbol there is a separate little piece of plastic that you plug in. It's kind of cool. It's nice and 3D, really gives it a pop.
Someone mentioned in the comments if they've ever done that before, because I don't think they have. A clip-on Autobot symbol, that is genius.
So then if he ever wants to switch sides, he can just pop that out and put a Decepticon one in.
Please make a Counterpunch figure that has this feature. I would be very, very pleased.
Oh, I'd also hope maybe we'll get some, maybe Predacons or Insecticons or something with different symbols. That'd be cool.
Ooh, interchangeable symbols.
I know, best feature ever, clearly. Next, we'll show you the transformation as we put him into his car mode, or buggy mode, I guess would maybe be more accurate.
Alright, we got this guy into his vehicle mode, I think.
Yeah, it's totally a car, buggy thing.
And when I first saw this thing, my immediate question was, which way is the front?
I know, I couldn't help but laugh. It's like, that's a good question to start with. So which end does it go forward with?
And I'm pretty sure it's this part.
Yeah, that's the front. That's the bumper you got up front there, and you got a spoiler on the back.
Right off the bat, yeah, this isn't a very good vehicle mode, mostly because it doesn't really look like anything. I mean, if you kind of pretend that this is like a Cybertronian vehicle, it kind of works, but I feel like that's going to become kind of a crutch with this toy line.
Just saying, hey, this is a Cybertronian vehicle. It's just like saying, hey, we really didn't know how to design it differently. I do get it, though. It is, it's got to go together. It is constructible, and some of it's kind of supposed to be interchangeable, so that's why it looks like this. It's okay. It has 4 wheels. It rolls. It does have a front. I mean, this is a bumper. This is a spoiler.
Rolls real nice.
Yeah, so not bad at all. And now the missile launchers actually serve a purpose. They're, what do you call those again?
I think they're pressure missile launchers.
Yeah, so you just kind of push on the back here and the missile fires out. I'm not going to do it because we'll never find it in here.
And the missile launchers actually got some holes up here too, and right here, and probably to place more junk if you want to.
Yeah, I suppose. I did go through the transformation. That was me. I do want to commend the transformation, though. If you like pegs, this guy will hook you up, I tell you. But seriously, the pegging on this thing is fantastic. It looks, I mean, you look at it right now and it's like, wow, that's going to fall apart. And that's kind of true. The back end here, the spoiler's kind of floppy, but the rest of it pegs in really nice. Like, I was surprised, and some of it's actually kind of fun. It all pegs together really solid, and it feels solid.
It's not perfect, but for what you get, for what this is, I really don't have a problem with it. I know a lot of fans are gonna hate this thing, but it is what it is.
And for the most part, the robot mode does disappear. You do have the hands right here, so you do have those sticking out.
You can't really tell, though.
I guess you can't tell for the most part. And otherwise, it doesn't look like a robot anymore. The head's well hidden. You don't see any obvious feet or arms. And you can see from the bottom there, too, this is the pegging I was talking about. You've got pegs here that peg in. This pegs in, the arm pegs into the hips, and it all pegs in real solid.
Bumblebee's head is actually right here. Thankfully, it's not facing you, so everything's really well hidden. It kind of looks like car junk. Like, I don't see a robot when I flip this thing over, which is nice.
Yeah, flipping it over, it does kind of remind me of like a Lego Technic car. It doesn't really look like a robot anymore.
Alright, let's change this guy into his jet mode. And now we come to the jet robot mode. This thing is a piece of crap.
Yeah, I hate it right off the bat. Well, you start out, we had to swap the kibble over. You take off the automotive bits and you throw on the airplane bits, which some of it is reused. We should let you know that. When it started out, you start out by putting these little ankle fins on, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then you put these jetpack things on. It's like, it's all right. Then you put these honking big wings on, and then his thing hanging down there, it's the cockpit hanging down. Yeah. I don't like him. He's heavy. Dylan's having a heck of a time just getting the thing to stand up straight.
You can't pose this thing. You can't. I've tried. This part, all of this junk, this kibble junk, it just weighs him down. It doesn't look attractive. I don't like it. I wouldn't have as big a problem with this mode if it wasn't for this big old wing right here, and then this thing.
And that thing doesn't even it doesn't snap on nice like the rest of the parts.
No,
it's all wiggly. It only is held on by one peg way at the top. So it just kind of flops there.
I really wish this part could have somehow, I don't know, maybe split, and maybe they fold up or something to give it a more cohesive backpack. But I just, it's so ugly looking. And why did they give Bumblebee this mode? It wasn't necessary. Bumblebee has never had a jet mode. He's never had a plane mode. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he has. Who knows, though? Maybe we're sacrificing a cruddy robot mode for an excellent jet mode.
Yeah, the jet mode better just be the best thing ever to make this worth it. Because so far, the vanilla Bumblebee and the car Bumblebee are just so much better than this
Astronomically better than this.
Yeah, he's way too back heavy. He feels floppy in your hands now. And it's crazy because before he felt tight. He felt good in your hands. Now I'm afraid I'm going to break the damn thing by holding on to it.
Let's transform him and see what we have to deal with now. So after the jet robot mode didn't make that much of an impression on us, is it bad that this mode kind of rocks, in my opinion?
Ugh.
Oh, I just love this thing. It's just... Let me finish. This thing, I don't know, it just has such a Star Wars vibe to it. It looks like an X-Wing or a Y-Wing or something, or an A-Wing or one of the letters of the alphabet. I like this thing a lot.
I don't know. I see more of a Naboo starfighter to me. First off, it transforms almost identically to the car. That's why I didn't show it. The only difference is you handle the kibble a little bit differently. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. Head folds in, cockpit folds up, legs tuck under and peg in, arms tuck under and peg in. I mean, it's the exact same transformation. And as I was doing the transformation, I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. I'm starting to like this. And then I folded the feet up, and you get this super thick look. I don't like that right there.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
From this angle, I can see your point of view, but it's just so gnarly. I love it. I mean, I can even forgive, like, how these thrusters just kind of stick out like this, and the hands, the visible hands. I don't know, I really like it. I don't like it as much as the car mode, but I still like it.
You like the car mode?
Well, I liked part of the car mode.
Ah, yes.
I liked it for what it was, okay.
Oh, a Cybertron. Oh, okay, this is a Cybertronian
This is a
jet.
Cybertronian jet.
Oh, well then, I mean, heck.
Then it's fine.
It's the bee's knees. As far as Cybertronian Bumblebee jets go, this is the best one I've ever seen.
Yeah, okay, and now I understand why this giant flap was hanging off of his back. It makes sense now. I'm fine with it. It looks cool.
Yeah, it's there because they do the transformation the same way. And the transformation, again, is fun. I enjoyed the transformation. It was pretty cool. Okay, and I'll give this, I do like the wings on this. I like the nose cone. It's more the thickness and the stubbiness that bothers me, which you do see a lot in Transformers. If you look at
It's a triple changer. What do you expect?
I suppose you look at the new Blitzwing, his jet mode's the same way. It's thick, it's stubby. Yeah, I'll give it some things. The paint on it's pretty cool. There's not a lot of paint.
Some nice blue right here. This is beautiful.
I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it seems like there's a little bit of pearl in there. You got a little bit of a sparkle to it. The detail on the Autobot symbol, you can still see that in the jet mode, which is cool. Otherwise, it's just a big yellow chunk of plastic. But I don't like it.
You know what ruins this for me, though? It's not necessary. It's the most unnecessary alt mode of all time. Why does Bumblebee turn into this?
They didn't need to do it. I get it. It's a triple changer now. Awesome! But if you're going to sacrifice what it could have looked like, don't! Make an awesome vehicle mode. Get rid of the jet mode. I would have been happy.
As much as I like this jet mode, I can't endorse it. It's just, why does it exist? So in conclusion, I'm really impressed with the Construct Bots. This is a very just well done figure. It has some problems, mostly in its jet mode and its jet robot mode, but the robot mode more than makes up for it. The car mode, yeah, it's not great, but for what it is, I don't really have many problems with it.
Yeah, I came into this with a very negative attitude. As soon as I started putting it together, though, pleasantly surprised. I'm probably going to go out and buy one of these for myself. If a Megatron comes out or a character I enjoy, I'm probably going to pick one up. I can't stand the jet mode. I can't stand the jet robot mode. The car mode, it's okay. I don't really like it. The robot mode, though, is a blast. At least the vanilla robot mode in the car robot mode. I don't like the jet robot mode. But the other robot modes, I do like them. They're very posable. They're fun to look at. They're fun to play around with. They're very solid.
I'm really surprised, too. This is a Hasbro product. This isn't K'NEX. This isn't Creo. This is something that Hasbro was making. And for... perhaps they've done something similar in the past, I'm not sure. But for what could be a first effort at branching out from Transformers, not including something like Bot Shots, this is a really good attempt.
Yeah, I think they were successful.
It's a really just kick-ass spin on Bumblebee. We haven't really seen Bumblebee like this before. I don't like some of the stuff he's trying out. I think he's really got to just focus on one thing, not the whole triple changing thing. But in conclusion, it's just out of the ballpark for me. I'm so glad I bought this.
Yep, and I'll say I like it. Not super stoked, but I'm excited to see what they got coming out next.
I'm excited for the future.
Definitely.